then continue doing the rest. Another OpenGL stuff renders at normal speed. That makes perfect sense. 1000% sense that adding a GUI add-on would make OpenGL render. Still Basha Master. Oh, okay. Well, we tried. Just this PR magically fixed it? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But, I guess if it works... Okay, so here's the text rendering algorithm. And this requires a few things. First I need to create this texture, and then I have to render that. Maybe the machine was so impressed by the GUI that it snapped into... Yeah, maybe. My other OpenGL problem is fixed. I wouldn't get my hopes up. But, I mean, hey. Maybe that does something. Okay. Let's see if I can find the size here. And I can't. I think this have to be in the window. Here, this size is pixel width, pixel height. Okay. Is this a tuple? Texture. Size. It is a tuple. So I want this. Was it really just the GUI that was added in the PR? Well, the PR is... Man! Oh my god, just Mac OS. Well, the PR is all here. Yeah, there's a lot of changed files. Wait, what in the world? That wouldn't change anything. If it was anything, it'd probably be something with an OpenGL renderer. And, update frame. Oh, I put update frame in its own function. I think? Wait, self.update frame scene. Oh yeah, I put that in its own function. And that's really it. So I doubt that would cause anything. But I don't know. You can look through all of this to see. I can't believe this one thing failed. I bet it failed on something stupid. Yep. Could not resolve host github.com. Yep. Could not resolve host github.com. That'll do it. How do you rerun this? I actually don't even know. An empty commit. It's kind of janky though. So I do think that would work. Yeah. Oh well, maybe this won't pass. But I thought there was a rerun button. Yeah, if I go to actions. I can't. Maybe it's because it's already running that I can't rerun it. I think because I'll just cancel it. So I guess I can only request for it to be canceled. I can't actually cancel it. Okay, so now I can rerun it. Although I have to rerun all of them. As annoying as GitHub Actions can be, back when we were using... What were we using before? We were using Jenkins or something? And that was even more annoying. So it's at least an improvement from that. Okay. So I did this texture. Then I'm gonna want to do this. Oh, and here I used it even. So this is probably broken. Yeah, so this doesn't show anything. Because I'm rendering to this texture the whole time. Okay, so I want to do that. Let me get a def. Let's call this def text rendering. And what I'll do here is more or less copy this. Although I should find a way to cache that shader. Although I guess I'm not even caching these shaders. Although I think actually the shader object might cache the shaders that it uses internally. So this... Yeah, if you pass this a name, it'll use that name to look up in a cache. So what I want to do is create a shader. Wait. So if I could use the shader object, and that would be dandy. And I think I can. Maybe I just shouldn't even worry about that right now. Right now I should just copy this program. And then copy this to like structure the data and stuff. Structure the data and stuff. Square chords. Then on this place where I have this, I'll need to read the points. That's the object here. So there's the object. Although, maybe it would be a little easier if I first modified this to use 3-dimensional data instead of 2-dimensional. Since the E points and the A points are already 3-dimensional. So if I did this, and I just made it the A points, so this would break. Okay, then of my origin, add a -1, sure. Invert 633. I make this 3-dimensional. The texture coordinates I think should still be 2-dimensional. Yeah, they should. Well, that didn't work very well. I wonder if this is because it wasn't in the same plane. Or maybe it just doesn't work with 3-dimensional data. I add the loop blend data. The texture coordinates are repeat here. Although even if that were true... Oh wait, I have to change the shader. So this should be a vector 3. Hand sandals. Thanks so much. Okay, so if this is a vector 3 instead of vector 2, invert, then I take out this coordinate. See how this does. Okay, then I get the A back. And in fact, now this looks about the same as it did before. If I use the E, also the same. So I'm gonna see if this still works if the origin point is out of the plane of the rest of the letter, and it still works, which is neat. But okay, cool. So that worked. And all I really had to do was make this a vector 3, remove this, and that's all, I think. And I had to update this data type. So I'm just gonna go through here and try to replace the data with the data from Manim. Oh, so how's this doing? Great, it passed. Somebody approve that. this the origin? I guess this could just be the literal origin. Right? What happens if I just make this 0, 0? Everything still works. Everything still works. The algorithm is easier to understand if you don't use the origin, but I don't think it matters. Wait. The tuple is this and this, so I'd want to do this. Just the stencil fill vertices. Okay, so I can see the endpoints. This is the same. So change this, make this 3-dimensional. And this will be self.context. Okay, so this should successfully render to the texture. And then I'll have to switch back to render to the screen with fbo.use. I don't even know where use it's called. Here, framebufferObject.use, and I guess that's the only place. I'll do this, come back here, and this should render, oh. This should render just the outline. Nope. All the input arrays should have the same number of dimensions, but the array index here has 1 dimension. Oh. I think I have to do... Maybe this will help? The buffer cannot be empty. What? Did I make the buffer empty? Indices here. If I print this. Yep, that's empty. Which doesn't make that much sense to me. Wait, what if I print the indices here? That's empty too. Stencil fill vertices dot shape at 0. Print it here. It's still empty. Which means the stencil fill vertices must be empty, I guess. Well, it's not empty, but it's almost empty. Is mobject.data at points not what I think it is? No, mobject.data at points is empty. So that's a problem. Oh. This is because text mobjects. It's not the mobject that has points, but it's like mobject submobjects at 0 or something. It's not the mobject that has points, but it's like mobject submobjects at 0 or something like that. It's not even that. Mobject dot submobjects at 0 dot submobjects at 0 dot data at points. And that is going to be sort of annoying to track down. I guess what I'd want to do is combine the points data of all the submobjects into one array and then render that one. Although I don't even know if the text rendering algorithm works with multiple disconnected shapes. So I could try that. So here's the points in the A. If I just add some points to this, will that work? Or maybe what I could do... Okay. Maybe do a concatenate of the A points, the E points, but I want to shift them first. Okay, I'll just do like dot copy or something. Then I'll want to add like half 0, 0, I think. I think this should shift them a quarter of the way to the right. Do like 0.7 or something like that. Okay, I have no idea if this will work. Oh my gosh, it worked! I was expecting that to do something crazy. Okay, so that's good, because that means the text rendering algorithm can render disconnected curves. That's interesting. So it would work to combine all the points from... Oh, well, only if they don't overlap. So only if those letters don't overlap would I be able to render them in the same whatever. Would that be a problem? There are definitely certain times when letters will overlap in Manim. Doesn't fix the intel problem. Darn. Well, I wasn't banking on it fixing any problems. Mm, but I do think I have to render all of these letters separately. But the... yeah, I guess the other algorithm wouldn't have had to do that. I think. The other algorithm, I think, would just triangulate all of them. And so it could render them all in the same render call, which might be more efficient. Or should probably be more efficient, actually. Well, that's annoying. It would probably be the... Would probably be the easiest thing to do is just detect if they are overlapping. And if they happen to be overlapping, then anything overlapping would have to be handled in a different render call. Because most of the time, your text isn't overlapping. It's only in pretty rare circumstances. So I just looked at the bounding boxes or something. Then that would work. But okay, I don't feel like combining the points for all the objects in the family right now. So I think I'm gonna call it a stream unless text by default has some overlap. Does it? For which strings? Let's see. Oh, well, I have to fix all the stuff that I messed up. Which it will be possible still to handle the overlap. Text highlighting was botched until you specified disable ligatures. Okay. Well, I bet it would. Like, my guess is that... Well, actually, I know for sure that with enough... If you use Manim enough, you will run into situations where text overlaps, like, no doubt. And it shouldn't be too hard to fix that problem. What I would want to do is probably just check the bounding boxes. And then if the bounding box... I wish this thing would just pause. And then if the bounding boxes don't overlap. Although I wonder if the bounding boxes here are overlap. No, they're not. Maybe the N and the G. But I want to compare the bounding boxes, and if those don't overlap, I would just assume there's no overlap. And if they do, I just use a second render call. But it'll very rarely be the case that you have like 7, like 5 or 6 letters on top of each other. It'll probably be like 1 or 2. And so taking the 1 extra render call will be fine, I think. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, did this pass? It's not approved yet, but yeah. Alright, I'm gonna look for someone to raid. Who speaks English? Okay, let's see how long. An hour and 45 minutes, that's not so long. Okay. Let's say hi to this person. Thanks a ton for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next stream or the Discord.
Hey, welcome in, Raiders! Euler Tour. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going? Can I get a shout out for Euler, please? Golden child, if you're there.